Hello everyone, welcome back to our Married at First Sight review, Season 10, Episode 11, Anniversaries and Secrets. And it looks like Zach got all the secrets. Let's get into the video. So for our first couple, we're going to start off with Austin and Jessica, my favorite couple. I used to say that they were boring.
You did?
But I appreciate the love that they're giving. Or are they in love yet? So for their 1 month anniversary, we see them. Austin got Jessica some rosé.
Some roses.
Even got a hand mold, which I thought was super cute.
I did too. I've never seen a hand mold before. I wonder where you got that from.
Maybe Hobby Lobby.
Everyone doesn't have a Hobby Lobby, so that would be like your craft store. Anyways, for their anniversary, they also, other than doing hand molds, they decided to go out for the evening. During dinner, Austin has sunflowers for Jessica, and she likes sunflowers, and she was happy that he remembered, one of her favorite flowers. And Austin tells Jessica that he's never fallen for someone so quickly before. Now they're watching their wedding video, and they both enjoy watching it, and they talk about their favorite part of the wedding, and they both say, well, I liked your laugh. She was like, I like yours too. Then they go,
They laughed together.
They did. I was like, okay. They're kind of the quirky couple, so they get along, so every little thing they do seems like they bounce off each other. Jessica says in the confessional that she would do it all over again, the Married at First Sight, in a heartbeat. Now, she's the first couple of any season I've watched that said they would do it over in a heartbeat this fast. Later that evening, during dinner, Jessica asked Austin what was the most challenging thing during their 1 month relationship. And Austin says it's the work schedules, the difference of the work schedules. He says that they're opposite. He said that's the challenging thing. And then Jessica says, well, you know what? You're a good roommate. And I was like, roommate? Was she kidding?
I don't think she meant anything by it.
I don't think so either, but roommate wasn't the best choice of words to me. So they talk about growing in love together and how they're connecting. And you know what? If you think about it, every episode, that is exactly what they discuss, growing in love and connecting.
Well, Jessica says she wants Austin to say the L word so she can say it back.
Yeah.
But my thing is, you can take the power and say it first.
Well, sometimes I think some women think that if you tell a man you love them first, that may scare them away. So I think maybe Jessica's feeling that way because later on in the confessional, she says that the 1 month has been great and they could see a bright future together. But she thought that the night would have been really perfect if he would have told her that he loved her first. So that's what she's waiting on. But Austin is showing her little things that he does for her. So that's love. He's just not saying the actual L word right now.
Our next couple we have is Katie and Derek. But first we go to Katie's confessional where she told Derek that she wants to keep her own townhouse because she said she's worked hard for it.
Yep.
And also she doesn't really feel secure because Derek tells her that, he can't fall in love within the 8 weeks or even the 6 months within them being together. And then in Derek's confessional, we see that Derek is like, well, why would she want to keep her own townhouse, and why should he keep putting in the effort if she's saying that she's checked out?
I don't think there's a problem with her keeping her own townhouse because if she bought it as her own townhouse, if they stay together, that technically will be an investment. So,
but then we go back to Katie's confessional, and Derek said to her, well, no offense, but F you. And I'd be like, offense taken, sir.
Exactly.
What do you mean F me? No matter what y'all are going through, especially within this time constraint, using profanity to offend someone, even though you said no offense, it's not good.
Right. Well, later in the evening, Katie and Derek go out for drinks or dinner. Katie is still upset about the conversation that they had earlier. And Derek is feeling like there's not much to celebrate. There's a lot of tension in the room, but again, you told me F you, and then you told me I'm checked out. So of course, they don't have too much to say, which I get that.
But Derek said he wants to move on and not talk about it. But they should definitely talk about it because that's how you move past things.
Yeah, eventually they do talk about things and move past, and they get back on, good conversation.
But Derek looked like he was about to pull out some receipts. Like a phone or something?
Well, because the conversation went through text because he said that they were having this conversation while he was at work.
Oh.
So the receipts are on the phone.
I wanted to see the receipts.
Well, he didn't need the receipts because Katie co-signed what she said. She wasn't backing down. Now, Katie, I don't necessarily like what she has to say sometimes, maybe her delivery, but Katie's a little spitfire, so she was holding true. She's like, yeah, like, and what else? And what else? Right. Like that. So Derek said that he wanted a chance to change things, and they both got on a common ground. So they both apologized to each other and decided to just move forward. And so Derek said, well, you know what? It is our 1 month anniversary, and said, I got you something. But I didn't hear Katie say she got him anything. I guess
she didn't. Maybe it was some
Oh.
Some booty.
Some goodies.
But booty ain't gift, though. That's not a gift.
Well, yeah. Eric said that he got her a gift, and one of the gifts it was 1 out of 2. And I was like, oh, he got her 2 gifts. That's nice. Was some tickets to her favorite artist. He didn't say what artist, though. Did he say? I didn't catch that.
Well, it was more likely a country artist since it's in Nashville.
I was thinking country artist, too. No, they're not Nashville, girl. They're in D.C.
Country? They're going to go see a country artist.
Oh, he said
in Nashville. So when I hear Nashville, I think country.
Later on, after they have their drinks or whatever, they're back in the room in their apartment, and there's candles and everything like that. And he's like, yeah, so I wanted to give you your other gift. And what he got together was a big old picture frame that says family with a bunch of pictures of them, I guess from Panama, or different little things that they took, during the time they were together, and pictures from her being with her family, things like that. And she was really emotional about that. I thought that was nice.
That was cute.
It was. So later on, we see them talk about their evening in the tub together, because clearly Katie likes to take baths before she goes to bed, so Derek joined her for this. Katie was saying how the night turned out more optimistic than she thought, and that they reconnected, and Derek thought they did too, and hey, they had a good night.
So next we have Meka and Michael, and we see Michael cooking breakfast, and he actually does something very nice for Meka this time around.
I was surprised.
Me too. But he lays out a menu for Meka and says, do you want orange juice or mimosas? Do you want turkey sausage or whatever they were cooking, Just a very nice 1 month anniversary breakfast.
And it was a surprise too, because Meka wasn't expecting that. But here's the thing with Meka, though. He cooked the breakfast, and she just was like, told the confessional, well, she really hates breakfast, and, and doesn't want to eat it all the time. But if he's going to do it, she'll do it every now and then. But then he served her the breakfast, and she's kind of like picking at it. And, I didn't necessarily care for that, because the one time that Michael puts in the effort on his own, he's trying, and you just kind of like looked like, just because you don't like breakfast, or in her words, she hates breakfast, that don't mean you have to act like.
I don't feel like she was acting like
I do
rude about it. I just feel like, she was taking it in and eating it, It's not like she up front was like, you know what, I hate breakfast.
Well, in her confessional, no, she didn't say that, but in her confessional was like, well, I hate breakfast. I mean, I don't think that was even necessary to say, but that's just me.
At least she didn't tell him.
That's true, but I still thought it was a nice gesture, and I was really surprised by Michael doing that, and he actually seemed happy to do it, too. And, he expressed how he used to do it with his grandmother who passed away, how they used to cook breakfast together. So that evoked good memories, because he's always talking about the trust factor, and that right there was, to me, him opening up. So that was good.
It was.
I enjoyed that. So later on, we see Meka and Michael head down to the pier. They take a boat ride for the anniversary, and Meka asks Michael, so what do you look forward to in the next month? Michael says getting more memories, having fun. Meka says she agrees with the memories and stuff like that, but she went on to say that, having fun is good, but we need to focus on, see, there she goes again, to me, that's a Debbie Downer. Michael, again, opened up this episode. Meka was like, we need to focus on
setting a foundation,
things like that, which is fine. But I mean, you shot the man down when I haven't seen him with an attitude at all.
This whole episode. And just everything. I think maybe because Meka's so used to maybe hearing things that she considers might be, quote unquote, in her words, a lie, that just anything that he says to her may be like, okay, what'd you say? Like she's critiquing the things that he says. That's what I'm getting from Meka in this episode. So like her feelings are now tainted?
I don't know, tainted is the right word, but just her feelings. She's more on edge about the things that he says. That's how I get from that. They're on this boat and they're having a good time. They're sitting around talking, and then, they go around to see their wedding pictures. So Michael says it was a good refresher looking at the pictures. And Meka says, yeah, she agrees. So for the gifts, they do a gift exchange. Meka gives Michael some ties for their anniversary. Michael's gift to Meka is a trip to Jamaica. And, Meka's surprised. She's like, what, really? He's like, yeah, it's an excursion.
Swimming with the dolphins.
And she's surprised by that because, see, that was on her bucket list. Now, remember we touched on that last episode when, he was kind of like talking under his breath for her wanted to do a trip with the dolphins. I'm like, remember, was this your bucket list to her? So he listened to what she said. And again, I was very surprised by Michael, who took all this.
Are you shook?
I am, in a very good way, that he actually took the time to remember. Instead of giving her candy, he actually did something for her that she really wants to do truly in life. And, but Meka at the end was like, to the confessional, well, I hope it's real. I hope it's not a lie. I guess we'll wait and see. So I guess we will have to wait and see.
I hope it's not a lie. I don't think it's a lie because I believe we saw like a little clip. Or maybe I saw things.
Maybe.
So to close out their night, we see Meka and Michael at home eating their wedding cake topper. They're like, who says wedding cake topper? Like, they didn't know people did that.
Yeah, they do. But normally after your 1 year anniversary, not your 1 month anniversary.
And they actually seem really reconnected this episode, which gives me hope for the future episodes. So next we have Brandon and Taylor, and we see both of them looking at their wedding boxes, of course, in separate places because they're not together,
of course,
right now. Mm-hmm. And both of them really kind of wish they could have looked at it with each other.
Yeah, they do. Taylor explains that she came into the marriage open and without walls, and she says she's unsure how to feel about it, that she doesn't want to feel like this was a waste. Brandon says in his confessionals that it sucks that he's not there with his wife, and I'm surprised he uses the word wife, to be honest. Says that the wedding was beautiful and how all the people were there for us, and how he really just wanted to be together with his soulmate because he really thought he was going to find a soulmate with this process.
Well, he said best friend.
I thought he said best friend and soulmate.
He probably did.
So they both read the vows that they read to each other separately, and Taylor says she doesn't know how they got there.
Mm-hmm. It was funny when Brandon read his. Mm-hmm. He was like, I'm going to make mistakes. He's like, dang, I said that in the vows too.
I was like,
well, you would know you the most.
Brandon says what he's looking for the most is an apology from Taylor, which is something he hasn't gotten from that. And when he gets that apology, he says he'll be able to move on. But, looking at the wedding pictures, maybe they can have a connection if Taylor did decide to apologize. Then we see Brandon and Taylor meet up at a nail shop. Taylor reached out to Brandon and wanted to talk. Dr. Cal says they are both sabotaging their relationships and their marriage, and they both need to say their sorries and move on. And I agree. And technically they have moved on, but they just haven't said sorry. So back at the nail shop, Taylor and Brandon have small talk. Taylor got Brandon a card for their 1 month anniversary. And in the card, that's where Brandon reads an apology.
Now, how do you accept your apology, Mom?
I wouldn't necessarily accept it via text.
Would you accept it via a card?
I would accept it in a card, but if we were already broken up and not talking and just that was it, I mean, okay, you said you were sorry, but we're not going to necessarily get back together. What about you?
I only accept my apologies in person.
Well, he was in person. He read the card in person.
Right, but you have to verbally say it. Don't hand me a card and have the sorry and laid out the whole apology or whatever.
What? Yeah.
You need to express the apology towards me because you could be writing down anything because people, and it's happened to me before, have a tendency to get something from the internet and write it down.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that scandalous?
It is.
So to me, it's not really real. I mean, yeah, you could recite the apology while you said it in person, but it still means something when you actually say it with your words. And that was Brandon's problem. And I agree with him.
You know what? I think that Taylor may have wrote the apology in a card because she wasn't sure how Brandon would react. So I think maybe that's why she did it. So at least it was a step, and they were together in the same place. So to me, that was a step in the right direction if they both chose to go in that direction. But Taylor goes on to say that she's been trying to get of in the animosity that they have between each other. And that was one of the reasons why she wanted them to come together at the nail shop and maybe talk and maybe they could work things out. Brandon says that all their conversations go back to Panama, and he just doesn't see how they can get past that conversation because that's what Taylor's stuck on. Taylor said it just doesn't go back to Panama. It's just about being respectful and being respectful as a person, and all the things that's being done she's like, they're being done by you. Now I disagree with that. Mm-hmm. I think they're being done by both people. Now in the beginning it may have been Brandon, and as a week or two went by was Brandon, but it just seems like Taylor stepped her disrespectful game up. Because that IG video, I mean, there's just no way you can just be like, oh, I'm sorry, that was something that was intentional. You can apologize for it, but you have to really mean it. And then how do you expect someone to just get over it? Because I think she wants Brandon to just get over and get past it. That's a lot, especially when he's upstairs. You know what I'm saying? When he sees the video and she's like, well, it weren't directed towards you. Okay. So Brandon asks if he made a video, how would she feel? Taylor said she would be okay with it.
No, she wouldn't.
No, she wouldn't. Nobody would be okay. I mean, come on now, Taylor.
Mm-mm. And Taylor, girl, I've been letting you slide on these past episodes, but I need you to pull that wig forward.
You know what? I'm not going to talk about nobody hair because we will go through hair too.
Yeah, but just pull it forward. That's all I'm asking.
So Taylor says she just wants to be friends. Brandon says he doesn't know if he can be friends.
He said he don't want to be friends.
Oh, I was trying to be nice about it. Brandon does say he wants to move on with their life. Pretty much a lost cause, and they just need to move forward. Brandon tells producers that he came into this for a soulmate. He's been slapped in the face with this process. So after all of that, Brandon leaves and tells confessional again that Taylor's a narcissist and she can't commit. And Brandon says he's also apologized to production and to Taylor for the past indiscretions in Panama and after they got back, and he just wants to move on from the process.
So for our final couple, we have Mindy and Zach, and we see Mindy in her element skating around in a skating rink. Mm-hmm. That's what it's called. If you ice skate.
Ice skating rink. Yeah, skating rink.
Ice skating rink. Mm-hmm. And, she's doing all the tricks and stuff, and then Zach comes in. He looks pretty pleasant, happy to be there, whatever. And Mindy is like, hopefully, this goes well for our 1 month anniversary, especially because he hasn't been staying the night. And, maybe he can spend the night later. And Zach was like, he's doing this because he wants to build a foundation with her.
Yeah, okay. So later that evening at dinner, Zach wishes Mindy a happy anniversary and said it's been a solid month.
Doing what?
That's why I paused. I was like... So Mindy says, if you think about the wedding day 1 month ago, it seems like it was so long ago. Zach says, yeah, it's crazy. I bet it is. Zach was like, do you remember we were taking pictures in the street? He was reminiscing about their wedding day, the pictures and how they posed. Mindy says, yeah, she does. And she says going to the anniversary dinner, she's looking forward to everything. She's excited. So then Zach says that this has been a humbling experience and that he's used to having control but has had to give up his control. Now, I think a couple episodes back, he got that from his sister to remind him that, he was used to having control, because I believe that's what his sister said. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't think Zach has control. Control of what? Because it's not Mindy. Mindy says she feels like she's been pushed outside the comfort zone and asked Zach to spend the night. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, why? He hadn't been there this whole time. Why do you think tonight he's going to spend the night? Because every time he see you, you're like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like you're his homegirl.
Anniversary. Anniversary. Take it.
That's my song too, but this is not appropriate for Zach and Mindy today. So as they go along with dinner, Zach comes out the blue and says, I've heard some things about you.
Well, he brought that up because while Mindy was saying, she wants to spend a night or whatever, she was also like, I feel like I've been giving all my effort and it's been slapping in my face because you haven't spent the night.
Yeah, and you know what? Before that, Minnie was like, so you haven't spent the night because maybe why? Do you have a girlfriend? Are you gay or something like that? He was like, no.
You're telling I committed adultery?
You know, he's all like verklempt about this, right? So then Zach says no. Then Mindy asks, has he been putting in an honest effort? Mindy, come on now. You know he hasn't been putting on his effort. Mindy reminds Zach that how excited she was when this first thing started and things like that. But then Zach tells Mindy that she hasn't been honest. He just cuts her off in conversation. He's like, you know what, Mindy? You haven't been honest. You haven't been honest in Panama, before the marriage, during Panama, and after Panama. Mindy's like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Like, she really didn't know what he was talking about. And we didn't either, because we don't even see them interacting like that. So what was the secret?
Right. But he was like, no, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to talk about it on camera.
Mindy's like, you want to talk about it off camera? He's like, no. Well, when you going to talk about it? On camera, off camera, which means if you telling me you know a secret, but you're not willing to tell me, but you want to know if it's true, how are we going to talk about it? When are we going to discuss it? Mm-hmm. So Zach continues to pressure Mindy to think about it, to think about what it was. Like she's a kid. You think about what you did, Mindy. You think about what you said. I've been like, Zach, give me a break. See, I would have left Zach sitting there. I wouldn't have first been there, to be honest. I'm just keeping it real. Zach says it's fine, but he really wants Mindy to think about it, okay? And Mindy says, Zach, just tell me, because I don't want to guess. And Zach is just adamant. No, you know what it is. You know what it is. Mm-hmm. And after a while, it's like, Mindy, just be quiet, get your purse, and get out of there. Now, Mindy left. She's back at the apartment, and we see her looking at wedding photos. She says it's nice, and she's wishing that Zach was there to look at the pictures. And you know what she did? She actually called Zach over to look at the pictures.
I said the lies.
I was like, girl, are you for real?
Absolutely not.
After he told you and questioned you and all that stuff, you want him to look at the pictures? No. Zach gets there and, you know, he's being all nice and like nonchalant as if nothing happens. And
I wouldn't be all nonchalant, especially if you think someone lied to you. How are you just going to be there just, oh yeah, these photos are so nice. Oh, that was such a great time.
So Mindy says she knows that Zach doesn't show his emotions. So she just plays along and she asks Zach, well, what was it like for him to see all the stuff, all the wedding stuff? And Zach said it's good memories.
Would have been me.
Mindy says it was a good day. Mindy tells Zach also, while looking at the wedding stuff, she said that when she wrote her vows, that she really meant what she said. And Zach just sat there kind of like awkward. You know, like he always is. When she talks, she just looks at her like, oh, okay, you know. So Zach says he's sorry that things didn't go well. Mindy says she's a strong woman and she knows it's not what it's all meant to be. Zach calls her out on it and she's wondering where it came from. So Mindy asks Zach again why he called her dishonest and questioning her character. Zach says it was detailed that she was hiding things. And Mindy said,
and we're like, from who? Who said it, Zach? Like, just tell us. Like, I was getting really agitated with this scene. Well, their whole scene in general, because it's like Mindy says later, you not telling me what it is
makes
and
you
the source makes you look like a liar. And he was like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll be a liar.
I was like, see there?
I couldn't do it.
So Mindy asked Zach, because she's going on, because she's really upset now. She really wants to know what's happening. Mindy asked Zach if he's reached out to one of her friends. And he's like, well, yeah, I talked to Lindsay. And she's like, Lindsay? When'd you talk to Lindsay? He was like, after the honeymoon. Now, see, how are you going to reach out to my friends after the honeymoon?
No.
When'd you get her phone number, though?
Well, first they said slid in the DMs. Did she slide in his DMs or did he slide in her DMs? I think she slid in his DMs. Let us know in the comments down below who slid in who.
So Mindy tells Zach, you should tell me if you're talking to one of my friends. And of course, Zach just sits there with no answer. Mindy says, you're having a friendship, I should know about it from both of you.
We know something in the milk ain't clean. It's spoiled.
Right.
And it's like, how are you, Zach, going to question her about what she did or did not tell you, but you're talking to her friend. And then not only is he talking and texting her, but he don't even call Mindy.
I couldn't even believe that.
It's not funny.
I was like,
it's sad.
You call and text one of my best friends, but Mindy's like, but you've never called me? You say you don't like talking on the phone. I'm like, dang, Mindy. He hadn't moved in. He said he wanted to attract you on the honeymoon. He don't call you? So you've been texting and calling him this whole time? That's why he come over and be like, what's up? Like, you homegirl. I just could not deal with that. I couldn't. So Mindy asked Zach, when's the last time you talked to Lindsay? Zach was like, a couple days ago. So after that exchange, Zach goes home. You know, they're both irritated and upset with the conversation. Then we see Mindy call Lindsay. Here we go with the lies.
The lies. She is a lying girl, but go ahead and say it.
Mindy tells Lindsay that she heard from Zach. Like, I heard that you said that they've been talking to each other on the phone. And Lindsay tried to lie like, no, not really. Yes, you have. She said, Zach said he hadn't talked to you in a couple days. Mindy said, that's not true. He talked to me this morning. He said, good morning.
He said happy Friday. This is when I have to cut you off, Mom.
Go ahead.
Because this part really bothered me. One, as a friend, close friend, best friend, don't matter. If you are labeled at the end friend, you should not be talking to your homegirl's boyfriend, husband, fiance, whatever he is to her, and not let her know. It's not like my mom said earlier, it's not like, throwing a surprise party or whatever. Y'all just talking just to talking. And who be texting their friends happy Friday? I don't text my friends happy Friday, and I'm not going to text my man's friends, the friend of my man, happy Friday.
Well, I said it earlier to you before we taped the show.
I mean,
that's what I said. I'm like, who does that? But it's still the same concept. Like, that's not what you do. Unless it's a surprise party or something like baby shower or something like that. That would be like a one-time thing. There's no texting back and forth, communicating. It sounds like Lindsay is on the phone trying to get her story straight. But at the same time, you can hear her voice shaking. It's like, I know I made a mistake and I've been immature about these things. Because, see, what happened was Mindy asked for a screenshot.
She said, I don't keep messages like those from people who I don't want to associate with at all.
Come on now.
Why are you associating with them in the first place?
You know I'm married to him. And you didn't tell me? So you were being associated. And if he just texted you this morning versus him saying a couple days ago, you're associated, because you would have cut that off regardless of who slid in whose DMs.
And then she was like, I said we could be friends after
it was done filming.
Right.
I was
and
like,
Lindsay was like, What? Like, why?
But see, that's where Lindsay tripped herself up. What do you mean you're going to be... She told Zach that they were going to be friends after this. Well, continue talking after they were done filming. So you're either in contact, you still have those text messages, or you're trying to protect Mindy for really a relationship you're having on the side with Zach. Because that's exactly how it comes across. So Mindy hangs up. Well, actually, before Mindy hangs up, Mindy says to Lindsay, well, I hope this doesn't mess up our friendship.
Girl.
As far as I'm concerned, friendship is over. You can't trust her. Someone you thought you could trust, you had in your wedding, she was there supporting you when your own family wasn't there to support you. And then she's going to do this to you. You've only been married a month. But Zach, remember what Zach said now? There was something that happened before the marriage, on the honeymoon and after the honeymoon. So when did they actually come in contact? Anyways, Mindy's upset about this. And, Mindy, I just hope you get together and come to your senses and just realize, Zach, he's not the one for you. Be done with it. Sorry, Mindy.
Woo! This episode looks like it was more secrets than Anniversaries.
Yes.
And on the next episode, it looks like Pastor Cal is going to be going in on some people. And I'm really excited about that because
me too.
Some of these couples
need it.
But anyways, thank you for watching our review. And also, we do our weekly recap now. So if you have any shows or topics you want us to discuss, let us know in the comments down below or follow us on IG. We will follow you back.
And as always, live simply, be grateful.